Many of the code segments you write, such as assigning a value to a variable or displaying a message box, will just need to run one time. However, if you work with arrays or tables or collections of objects, you might need to repeat a segment several times. The easiest way to repeat code in Access VBA is to create a for-next loop. For this movie, we'll use the for-next code module, and that is over here in the navigation pane. So I'll double-click it. The code, which is in the subroutine named demonstrate for next, has a counter variable, which is an integer, and then an array of shipping codes. Those are overnight, 2-day, 3-day, and ground. The structure of a for next loop looks like this. And I'll click above the end substatement. First you type the word for, then a space, then the variable that is being used as the counter, and in this case it is the integer named counter, int, counter, a space, then an equal sign, and then one number to another number. So let's say that I want to make it 0 to 3. And the reason I make it a 0 is because an array has members that are numbered from 0 and so on. So in the array that I have for my shipping codes, overnight is 0, 2-day is 1, 3-day is 2, and ground is 3. So I have for int counter equals 0 to 3. Now I'll press a tab to indent my code, indicating it's within a for next loop. And I'll type message box, msg-box, space, and then string ship code, str-ship-code, all one term, then a left parentheses, then int counter, int, counter, and a right parentheses, then return twice, backspace, and then type next int counter. And it is important that you have the variable named in the next statement. The reason is that you might have nested for next loops, so Access needs to know which one it's going back to. So I have the loop in place, and when I press F5 to run the code, it displays 0, which is overnight, and then when I click OK, it will go back through the loop and then display 2-day, so we're at 1. Click OK, now we're on 3-day, which is element number 2. OK, the fourth element, which is numbered number 3, and that is ground. Then click OK, and we're done with the loop. One way that you can control the numbers that are counted, in other words, what happens to this int counter variable in this case, is to use the step keyword. So let's say that I have int counter from 0 to 3, and I have step 2. That means that it'll start at 0, then go to 2, and then end, because the next step would be 4, but that is beyond the top range, which is 3. So I'll go ahead and press F5. So first we'll see element 0, which is overnight. Then we'll see element 2, which is 3-day. Then when I click OK, we step out of the loop because there are no more values from 0 to 3 stepping 2 at a time. You can also go in reverse. So I'll just delete the text that says 0 to 3 and then say 3 to 0, but that's not normally how you would do it, so you need to make your step -1 and press the down arrow. Now we'll go in the reverse order, so we'll start with ground, pressing F5 to run the code, start with ground, click OK, go to 3-day, 2-day, overnight, and we're done. For next loops let you repeat your code a specific number of times, with the number of repetitions controlled either by specifying the number of steps in the initial for statement or through a variable. You can also skip values using the step keyword, which lets you examine a subset of the values stored in a range, or to change the order by stepping with a negative number.